Tech giants are pouring insane amounts of cash into AI. We're talking about $70 billion invested in 2026 alone. But the revenue? A mere $3.5 billion. That is a miserable 5% return. So, what is it? Do these giants truly see a massive future, or are they just driven by pure FOMO, forced to stay in the game? Today we are going back to 1987. Let's follow Nobel laureate Robert Solow to find the real answer. Ever heard of the Solow Paradox? It comes from a classic joke by economist Robert Solow in the 80s. He said, "You can see the computer age everywhere, except in the productivity numbers." It sounds crazy. We literally have AI writing our emails, yet official stats say we aren't getting more done. Why? Economists blame four main culprits. Let's look at what they actually look like today. First up, measurement error. Our economic math, like GDP, is stuck in the past. It counts physical stuff, cars, steel, lattes. It has no idea how to measure digital abundance. Think about it. A decade ago, a startup paid thousands for a photo shoot and a graphic designer. Today, you generate a flawless ad campaign on Midjourney for $15 in your pajamas. GDP sees a massive drop in spending, but you just created immense value. The old-school stats just think the economy is shrinking. Next is the J-curve. I call this the AI adoption hangover. Your boss forces a shiny new enterprise AI on the whole team. For the first 3 months, it's a nightmare. It hallucinates fake data. Nobody knows how to write a good prompt. Productivity absolutely tanks. That's the bottom of the J. A year later, everyone masters it. You do a week's work in an hour. But the stats capture that embarrassing early nosedive. The massive payoff takes years to show up. Then there's the zero-sum game. Sometimes wild tech doesn't grow the pie. It just helps people fight over the exact same slice. Picture two rival ghost kitchens on Uber Eats. They both drop a fortune on dynamic pricing algorithms and viral TikTok influencers. They just want to sell you the exact same smash burger. The tech is futuristic, but your stomach hasn't grown. You still only eat one burger. The marketing war got way more expensive, but the overall economy didn't grow an inch. Finally, negative side effects. We all feel this in our bones. Tech is supposed to make us ultra-fast. Instead, it fries our dopamine receptors. You sit down to do deep work. Then your smartwatch warns you your heart rate is up. Your boss tags you in Slack, Teams, and Notion all at once. You spend 10 minutes doing two-factor authentication just to read a PDF. The machines are powerful, but the endless notification fatigue completely nukes the time we supposedly saved. So, there you have it. The Solow Paradox is real. Our stats miss the digital magic. We suffer through brutal learning curves. We wage expensive digital turf wars. We drown in notifications. But this brings up a wild question. Is this just a modern AI-era headache? Or has humanity been here before? What are some real historical examples where revolutionary tech completely failed to show up in the numbers? It turns out history loves a sequel. This exact paradox is the fate of almost every major general-purpose technology. We have seen this movie before. Let's rewind to the steam age. The year is 1776. James Watt successfully upgrades the steam engine. It was a massive breakthrough. But guess what? For the next 40 years, the UK's productivity growth was practically zero. Nothing changed. Why? The early engines were incredibly bulky. They were wildly expensive. It took decades of tweaking to actually make them useful for everyday business. Then came the electricity age. Move forward to 1880. Thomas Edison gives us the practical light bulb. Electricity is here. You'd expect an instant economic boom. Wrong again. The massive US productivity spike didn't happen for another 40 years. Why the huge delay? Factory bosses lacked imagination. They just took out their central steam engine and plugged in an electric motor. They kept the exact same clunky factory layouts. They didn't redesign the assembly lines. They used revolutionary new tech to do things the exact same old way. There is a glaring lesson here. No great technology is ever plug and play. You can't just drop a futuristic tool into an old, outdated system and expect instant magic. So that leaves us with a big question. If we can't escape this historical curse, what do we do? If the massive payoff takes decades, do we just sit around and wait? The answer is a definitive no. The big economic numbers might look depressing, but on the ground, people are getting filthy rich. You just have to look at the micro level. If you look closely, 4 types of players always win during these massive tech shifts. First up, the native, re-engineers. These people don't actually invent the technology. They just invent a whole new way to use it. Take Henry Ford. He didn't invent electricity, but he used it to build the modern assembly line. Same with Amazon. They didn't invent the internet. They just completely rebuilt shopping around it. Next, the shovel sellers. During a gold rush, don't dig for gold. Sell shovels instead. These are the infrastructure guys. They don't care if the tech buyers fail or succeed. The tool sellers make bank either way. In the steam age, it was the companies making wooden railroad ties. In the PC era, it was Windows and Intel. Today, in the AI boom, it's NVIDIA. They get paid first. Then we have the top 5% giants. This is a winner-takes-all game. These mega companies have a massive superpower. They know how to change fast. They absorb new tech flawlessly. They use this digital gap to completely crush the other 95% of average businesses. The gap becomes an uncrossable canyon. Finally, the super individuals. These are single humans with insane bargaining power. They are the ultimate hybrids. Think of cross-disciplinary architects or product managers. They master the new tools, but they also understand the business side. They know how to turn code into cash. Companies will pay absolutely anything to hire them. If you study any new tech wave, you can easily spot these clues. The winners leave footprints. But of course, investing in them is still a massive gamble. Because all of these rules assume the technology actually survives. Sometimes a massive new tech never makes it out of the paradox. It dies in the dip. Look at the airship. Giant blimps were supposed to be the future, but they never got cheap enough. Fixed-wing airplanes evolved way faster. They swooped in and killed the airship industry overnight. Look at canal networks. Investors spent absolute fortunes digging giant water routes. They waited for the massive payoff. But right before the profits rolled in, trains happened. The railway completely crushed the canals. Or look at nuclear energy. It promised limitless, cheap power, but it drowned in red tape. The safety rules, the compliance, the public fear. These invisible costs turned it into a bottomless money pit. This is a huge warning for AI. Large language models are incredible, but they burn insane amounts of power. The computing costs are astronomical. The safety and legal headaches are piling up fast. What if AI just becomes a giant money pit? What if it never actually figures out how to finish real business tasks from start to finish? If it takes too long, a totally new tech paradigm could easily swoop in and steal the crown. There's a famous saying, "History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes." Will AI break the curse? Or is it just the next airship? We will break down exactly where AI is heading in the next video. This is Jacob Investing. See you next time.